The locals call this Woden's Pool, after the Germanic pagan god who was credited with creating earth, sky, man and woman. The water is the source of the river Lipp, which flows from the spa town of Bad Lippspringe into the Rhine and the industrial areas of the Ruhr Valley. Today, it's a peaceful and prosperous little town, just as it was 60 years ago when Franz and Hilda Kusserow arrived here with their 11 children. What began as a peaceful idyll became an epic battle between good and evil as the Kusserows defied Hitler and the Nazi regime. Franz and Hilda Kusserow were married in 1911, 3 years before the Great War that traumatized Europe. Franz Kusserow fought for his country, but his life and beliefs were transformed. The Kusserow story has been lovingly chronicled by the eldest of the 11 children, Anne-Marie, now aged 78. Anne-Marie's parents were born into a comfortably off Protestant environment. But the First World War and a chance meeting with a Jehovah's Witness dramatically changed their lives. Franz, a post office clerk, and Hilda, a former schoolteacher, became full-time missionaries for the International Bible Students Association. They came to this house on the outskirts of Bad Lippspringe to set up congregations in North Westphalia. No Kusserows live here today, but when members of the family do return, there are vivid memories. Magdalena is the Kusserows' fourth daughter. What are your early memories of this house?
Oh, it was so nice. We played here in the garden in this little piece, and then there also we had some trees with apples and some fruits. We had some potatoes, with salad and different things. We played, we danced together, and then they took some flowers, they make a ring on the head. And then we went down with geese to the river, to bring the geese, that they could
Swim?
no, swim also, yes, and we swim also.
You took the geese for a swim?
Yes, and on the way they took the grass and they ate and we had many fun.
It's a long time since I was here. Not since 1939, I think. The door seemed bigger then.
Hans Werner, now 63, was the Kusserows' 10th child.
It was a very happy time, especially as I had so many brothers and sisters. Everything was happy until I went to school. That was bad, of course.
Every day when children went to school, they thought in advance, what will happen today? What will happen today?
I remember many things. I remember how strong we were, how we didn't salute the flag, how we wouldn't say Heil Hitler, and how we acted a bit differently from other pupils.
Some days were hard, the teacher was like a devil, and he took my hand, he said, Heil Hitler, and beat me.
Weren't you so frightened they would hit you? Did you never say Heil Hitler?
No, we never said. Because my father said, look, Heil Hitler means the salvation comes from Hitler. As we learn of the Bible, the Heil, the salvation comes by Jesus Christ.
The Kusserows' house was known as the Golden Age. A huge sign advertising the Jehovah's Witness magazine was emblazoned in gold letters outside their home. Inside, the parents gave the children their love and their time, and they taught the Bible and music, lessons which would have a lifetime's impact. Kuseros, then and now, firmly believe the creed of the Jehovah's Witnesses, that our world, now influenced by Satan, will soon be transformed into the 1,000-year reign of Christ promised in the Bible. The evil will die, whilst the good and faithful will be physically reborn into paradise.
I was from morning to the evening visiting people who like to know what the Bible says about preaching work or missionary work. They like to receive me.
Much of the literature distributed by the Kuseros came from the Witnesses' headquarters in New York. In Germany, the Witnesses were a very small sect of just 20,000 people, and yet Hitler saw the movement as a rival ideology to the Nazis. So he set out to seize their literature and wreck the organisation. So where were the books and the literature? Where was it?
Here also, from there.
Under the stairs?
Yes, there, from there, and also
Up here.
upstairs.
And how many times did the police come to the house?
Oh, many times.
And they hid them here?
Hier? Yes. Hier waren die Steine. Hier war Boden.
Well, under the eaves.
Yeah, on the roofs. And then the books here 10 meters lang, hier 10 Meter, und die Bücher rein. Und dann haben wir die Steine reingelegt und Spinnweben rüber getan, hier. Und hier war ein Balken und nochmal ein Balken, muss man ganz vorsichtig gehen.
They came, how many times did you say?
18 times. 16, 17, 18.
And they always searched in this area?
Have not found the books.
The Nazis weren't easily dissuaded. The Golden Age sign on the Kuseros' house was blacked out. But although the Witnesses had been officially banned, the family maintained their religious activities in secret.
She said, Magdalena, you go behind 3-4 meters behind me, you carry the Bible, that I have nothing in my hand. And she spoke with the people. And there were one man, I don't know, was he was a stranger, he didn't belong to Bad Lippspringe. And he denounced us, he called the police.
In 1936, the first time my mother was arrested to Paderborn. This was the first time.
Franz and Hilda Kusero were among the hundreds of Jehovah's Witnesses arrested by the Gestapo in 1936. They were briefly reunited in 1937 when this last complete family photograph was taken. Later that year, their son Siegfried died in a swimming accident. His death signalled the end of the idyll. By now, most Germans were wallowing in nationalistic pride and revived economic fortune. Communists, gypsies, homosexuals, dissidents, the handicapped, and above all the Jews, were hunted down, even in Bad Lippspringe. Today, the town memorializes its former Jewish residents. Little more than 50 years ago, they were hounding them out and baying for their blood. It seems a long while ago. For the moment, dissidents are tolerated. Jehovah's Witnesses can sell their magazine, The Watchtower, and openly recruit converts. In the 1930s, this street in Paderborn was dominated by the prison, and this is where the Kuseros were jailed. Witnesses began to lose their jobs and pensions. The Gestapo stepped up their surveillance. But the Kuseros' garden was still supplying fresh produce. The 3 youngest members of the family were being well cared for. They were the next target.
Ja, das war einer der schwarzen Tage. Ich war zu der Zeit gerade krank.
At that time, I was ill and didn't go to school. I was lying in bed here,
Plötzlich kam ein Auto vorgefahren, Zivilisten, ich konnte das aus dem
Suddenly a
Fenster
car
raussehen.
drove up. There seemed to be two civilians in it. I could see them from the window.
Kam forsch hier rein und haben uns dann, ich musste aus dem Bett aufstehen, anziehen.
They burst in and wanted me to go with them. They hesitated because I was ill, and for appearance's sake took me to a doctor to see if I could be taken away.
Ich musste dann mitfahren zum Arzt, rein pro forma, ob ich mitfahren
Then they collected my sister and brother from school, and we left.
Meine Schwester und mein Bruder aus der Schule geholt und dann sind wir losgefahren.
Denn wir wurden aus der Schule herausgeholt.
We were taken from school. My brother, who was ill, was collected from home.
Und wir fuhren gemeinsam
We were taken by two policemen to the orphanage in Dorsten.
nach Dorsten in das Erziehungsheim. Ich kann mich natürlich noch gut daran erinnern, wie ich mich...
I can still remember how I vomited all over the jacket of one of the policemen. It took a lot of effort to clean it up once the car stopped.
Die Jacke wieder reinzubekommen.
Then the journey continued to Dorsten.